And I quote, "I'll be there in a minute. Give me a second."
Time is relative, folks. Time is relative.
Yes. So, hey, cheers to everybody in the chat.
They're a division rival. I don't care how many wins they get. Screw them.
That wasn't the take I was expecting to hear.
I want to gush over watching live Chris Tanev.
I think that we completely underestimate the skill it takes to play defense.
One highlight or several highlights does not a Calder trophy make.
I'm stepping in here. I'm going to be the crotchety old man here. They need to learn patience. They need to understand the tension, and everything, and the drama.
How dare! Look at this. How is McDavid not getting a penalty?
You guys need to calm down with this, okay? You guys need to calm down with it.
Well, hello and welcome to the Shifts and Pucks News Pack for Tuesday, March the 7th. Of course, you can follow us on Twitter at Shifts and Pucks, Facebook.com Shifts and Pucks, YouTube.com Shifts and Pucks. Subscribe wherever you get your audio, as well as on the Area 51 Sports Network. Game day tonight for the Calgary Flames as they go back to back. Here, they had a big game, big win against the Dallas Stars. An infuriating win, but they will go back to back. They face the Minnesota Wild tonight, and off day for the Canucks. But there's still a lot of action, a lot of interesting things going on. But that's where we will start, though, here with the Flames. We also will get into some WHL, a power, big, interesting matchup, and not in terms of standings, but just something to watch as we head down the playoff stretch in the WHL to Memorial Cup favorites, I would argue, are going to face each other tonight in Seattle. Well, then, but let's start with the Flames. We'll get into the Canucks a little bit later here, but the Flames came away with a 5-4 victory. They had a 2-0 lead in this game. The Stars fought back. They had a 4-2 lead in this game. The Stars were able to fight back. Late tying goal by Jamie Benn, but Jonathan Huberdeau, who unfortunately, this year we haven't seen that skill that he showed last night on a consistent basis, but he sent Tyler Toffoli in on a breakaway with under 10 seconds to go. Toffoli, who interestingly enough had a breakaway against Minnesota on Saturday that could have tied the game, did not, but Toffoli made no mistake, beat Jake Ottinger, gets the win for the Flames. And, you know, is it a flawed win? Absolutely. There was a lot, there was a lot not to like in terms of, a bad penalty by Nick Ritchie, although he did get a goal. You allow a shorthanded goal, you blow a couple of leads, but you did find a way to get the win. And at this point where the Flames are in the standings, that is good. That's, let's take that and see. You had both the Predators and the Winnipeg Jets lose in overtime / shootout last night. So that helps you a little bit to get that win and gain a little bit of confidence and a little bit of that. It's, the odds are very much against the Calgary Flames. There's no other way to put it. And it's a big game tonight against the Wild. But you've got to win here, and you get that opportunity to go try to get back-to-back wins for the first time since January. And that's why you're in this position that you're in when you're the Calgary Flames. And so big game tonight against a team that's, I would suggest right now, I wouldn't be surprised if they're the favorite to win the Western Conference. I don't know how I'm matching everything up here. We're still got, 20 games to go, but this is a very good Minnesota Wild team that's coming off that shutout, playing some very stingy hockey in terms of what they've allowed in terms of goals. But, it's certainly going to be, so not an easy matchup against a team that adds, I thought was very shrewd at the deadline. They added Oscar Sundqvist. That I think a really good ad was also John Klingberg as well. You had a few things, Marcus Johansson. You added Gustav Nyquist. So you added a few things, and they're playing the way that I think the Flames want to play, and so they're going to be a tough team. They have not allowed more than 3 goals in 6 straight games. Or over more than 2 goals, pardon me, in 6 straight games. The last one was against the Predators, where they won 4-3 on February 19th. But the Minnesota Wild are a very stingy team, and we saw that on Saturday. It's not necessarily exciting, but the Flames, they got to continue to play the way that they got to try to find a way to win. It's just that simple for them to have a chance. But you also have to take this one day at a time. Really, what you have to do is you have to find a way to gain 5 points on the Winnipeg Jets and see how you do there. Pardon me. In terms of lineups, what it looks like we are expecting, it will be Philip Gustafsson that will get the call in goal for the Minnesota Wild tonight. He's been playing really well. He's taken over that number 1 position from Marc-Andre Fleury. So we've got that. But the Wild will have Eriksson, Marcus Johansson, Matt Boldy. Oscar Sundqvist will make his debut with Frederick Gaudreau and Marcus Foligno, Connor Dewar, and Mason Shaw, Ryan Reeves, and then, of course, Ryan Hartman, Kirill Kaprizov, Matt Zuccarello, that number 1 line. Jake Middleton, good defenseman, paired with Jared Spurgeon. You've got Matt Dumba and Alex Goligoski, and John Klingberg and John Merrill, who played together for a while. And, so no Sam Steele, no Kalen Addison. The Flames should have the same lineup that they had last night. So it was Lindholm, Pelche, Toffoli, Kadri, Ritchie, and Huberdeau, Backlund, Mangiapane, and Coleman, Dubé between Lucic and Lewis. And, as far as those lines, they looked, you're adding a little bit more speed with Dylan Dubé in the middle. But, and I think Troy Stetcher, not perfect, is off to a good start. Nick Ritchie had created some space for Kadri and Huberdeau, so we'll see if all of that can continue. But so that's the lineup of that. It's I think you're running with Jacob Markstrom tonight. I think Markstrom gets the start tonight for the Flames, but we'll see about that, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. As for the Canucks, they won. They had the 3-1. They had a 3-1 lead. They lose that lead to here in the third. Elias Pettersson gets his 30th goal of the year. This guy continues. I think he's raised the level of play since Rick Tocchet took over, and but they came away with the 4-3 shootout win. The Predators do tie it in the third period. Luke Evangelista gets 2 goals for the Predators. Dakota Joshua scores for the Canucks. Pettersson, Podkolzin gets his 3rd. Dakota Joshua, and then of course Pettersson, and then the shootout winner was Elias Pettersson, and Evangelista with 2, and then Colton Sissons got the other one. Predators are not going away. Yeah, they did some selling, but they're still 5 points out. And the way the Winnipeg Jets are going, if the Flames and the Predators get just a touch hot, I think they can at least make this a race. If I was a Jets fan, I would be really concerned about where this team is at right now. They have fallen flat in their face. Their defense is not tight. They blew a lead to the San Jose Sharks late yesterday. That's a game you have to get 2 points from if you're Winnipeg, no matter what. The Sharks are in the Connor Bedard battle here. You get 1, but you need 2. So we'll see where you're at there. And they're going to be running Connor Hellebuck for most of the rest of the year. I mean, Riddick kind of struggled yesterday. And you allow that late goal, 11 seconds left of Tomas Hertl, and Logan Couture gets the overtime. Eric Carlson gets 2 assists, by the way, in Winnipeg. So that's the playoff battle. As far as the Canucks, I think JT Miller and Connor Garland are starting to feel it a little bit. You're starting to see a little bit of a structure that Rick Tocchet is desiring to play. Is it perfect? No. But this is all about next year for the Vancouver Canucks. We continue to say that. We'll dig into that more on Thursday about what to look for about next year and all of that. So that is the Flame story from yesterday and what to expect tonight. That's where we're at with the Canucks. And let's look at the rest of the league and where we are at. So you got some interesting games tonight in the National Hockey League. And we will start as we get started here, and lots of playoff battles, lots of all of those things. But we're going to start in New Jersey, where the Toronto Maple Leafs, no Ryan O'Reilly. He has a hand injury. He's on LTIR. They face the New Jersey Devils. The Devils are in a battle for first place in the Metropolitan Division with the Carolina Hurricanes, 2 points behind the Hurricanes. And so that's what we've got there. Leafs will have Sam Lafferty, Calle Yarncroke, Willem Nylander as your second line. Alexander Kerfoot is going to jump up with Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner tonight. And Ilya Samsonov is going to get the call in goal. For the Devils, Timur Meyer playing with Jack Hughes, Jesper Bratt on their second line. Vitek Vanacek, who's had a really good year, will start in goal and for the Devils. The Hurricanes are playing tonight. They place Montreal. Antti Ranta gets the call, looking like getting the call and goal for Carolina. And the Canadians, back from that Western road trip, will have Jake Allen start in goal. The Flyers take on the Lightning. No Victor Hedman for the Tampa Bay Lightning. They have lost 5 in a row. This is a need to win game for the Tampa Bay Lightning against a Flyers team that's stumbling along here. They're going 11-7, by the way, in terms of forwards. The Flyers are, and it will be Carter Hart starting for the Flyers. Vasilevsky will start for the Tampa Bay Lightning, and so we've got that, and we'll see where Braden Point, Steven Stamkos, and Nikita Kucherov are at. Excuse me, after being benched on Saturday, and then your 6-0 loss to the Hurricanes on Sunday. Golden Knights, they are in action. In terms of the Pacific, the Golden Knights are currently ahead of a tie with the LA Kings, who have won 4 in a row. Here, the Knights have won 3 in a row. They're in Florida, and Jonathan Quick will get the start again in goal for the Knights, and it will be Sergei Bobrovsky in goal for the Florida Panthers. The Panthers still kind of hanging around that playoff race. The best thing that they'll try to do is get in through the wild card, because they're not going to catch Tampa, but they are currently 3 points behind Pittsburgh in that race. There, you've got the Buffalo Sabres, who lost 3-2 to the Edmonton Oilers, are off to the Islanders in a very interesting game, as both of those teams are battling in playoff for that wild card spot. 4 points separate these two, but the Sabres and the Islanders. And you've got Eric Comrie getting the call and goal for the Sabres tonight. And you've got Ilya Sorokin, who is going to be in the Vezina conversation, in goal for the Islanders. And as well tonight, you've got the St. Louis Blues taking on the Arizona Coyotes. You've got Jordan Binnington facing Karl Vejmelka, and the San Jose Sharks, fresh off that win over the Winnipeg Jets, take on the Colorado Avalanche. I think the Avalanche losing to the Kraken as well. The Avalanche, a couple weeks ago, it was everyone after that win over the Flames were like, this is the team destined to represent the Western Conference. And then you lost a couple of tough games. I'm not sure where the Avalanche truly are at this point. I think everyone will have them as a favorite. But right now, they are hanging on to that second wild card spot. So, I mean, I think people are going to assume Colorado is going to get in, but how they get in, will be interesting. But they're facing the Sharks. Then they will have Alexander Georgiev starting in goal there. Seattle Kraken, who are continuing to make life very difficult with 4 wins in a row. One of the best road records in the National Hockey League, by the way, with 21-9-3. Not as good at home, 15-12-3. They face the Ducks, who face the Canucks tomorrow. John Gibson gets the call and goal for Anaheim. It looks like it will be Philip Grubauer that will get the call and goal for Seattle. So that is the story in the National Hockey League. We mentioned Victor Hedman is going to be out for the Lightning tonight as they continue to be injured. They continue to stumble along here. Eric Chernak will play tonight for the Lightning. In terms of other injuries and other things to note, a couple of debuts tonight. Dmitry Kulikov will make his debut for the Pittsburgh Penguins against the Columbus Blue Jackets. And I believe that is that game tonight. Let me look at the schedule. I didn't see it there. Penguins, Blue Jackets. Here, sorry, one moment. Dmitry Kulikov is expected to play tonight as the Penguins. Yes, the Penguins are playing the Blue Jackets. That is another game. Missed that, in the list here. But Kulikov will make his debut. And as the Pittsburgh Penguins holding down that second wildcard spot. So that is one other game that we got. Columbus, Pittsburgh. And missed that one here. Elvis Merzlik is starting for Columbus. Tristan Jarry starting for Pittsburgh. Kulikov looks like he will be paired with on Pittsburgh's lineup with Jan Ruta. So we got that. Jacob Verana making his debut for St. Louis tonight against the Arizona Coyotes. Verana will be on a line. Looks like third line work for Verana. Of course, he was acquired from Detroit as part of the trade deadline. I mix all of those trade deadline deals pretty much the same day because there were so many of them, and it's hard to necessarily keep track. But Verana looks like he will be playing on a second line with Kasperi Kapanen and Braden Shen tonight. And in terms of any other injuries, we've got that Dmitry Kulikov making his debut, Jacob Verana making his debut. Those are kind of that's the note there. We'll go to the AHL. And here, as we have some games tonight, off day yesterday, the American Hockey League action tonight. As they're down as they have some games tonight, and looking at the schedule, the Wranglers are in action tonight against Colorado, and Abbotsford's in action against the Minnesota Moose tonight. As we look at the standings, the Wranglers will come in here continue to be in the Pacific, the Pacific Division. They lead the Pacific Division by 1 point over the Coachella Valley Firebirds, but the Firebirds have 4 games in hand. And of course, Dryden Hunt was acquired. He scored on Sunday and made his debut there. So they face Colorado, and Colorado Eagles are 67 points, which is the same record as the Abbotsford Canucks, who have 67 points. They're facing the Manitoba Moose, who was first in the Central Division. And so And then you've got Grand Rapids taking on Cleveland and Iowa taking on Milwaukee tonight. In the WHL, one big game tonight. We do have the new rankings, and it is for the CHL. We haven't done this in a while. The number 10 ranked team in the CHL is the Saskatoon Blades, and they are rolling right now. They're unbeaten in 10. Sarnia Sting, number 9 from the OHL. Kamloops Blazers, a host of the Memorial Cup at 8. Ottawa 67s, number 7. Quebec Remparts, number 6. Halifax Mooseheads, number 5. Sherbrooke Phoenix, number 4. The Winnipeg Ice, number 3. The Gatineau Olympics, number 2. And the Seattle Thunderbirds are number 1. And the Blazers and Thunderbirds meet tonight as part of WHL action. Top 2 teams in the Western Conference. Thunderbirds well ahead. It looks like they should wrap up home ice advantage for the Western Conference anyway for the playoffs. So we'll see that. You also have Minnesota Hat Tigers taking on the Winnipeg Ice, and you got the Brandon Wheat Kings taking on the Prince Albert Raiders in terms of those games. So 3 games tonight in the National Hockey League. Didn't get to the players of the week yesterday in the WHL. Should touch on them. Stanislav Svozil from the Regina Pats, player of the week. He had 1 goal, 7 assists, 8 points for the Pats. And, of course, defenseman Stanislav Svozil and Austin Elliott from the Saskatoon Blades was the goaltender of the week in 2 games, 1.50 goals against average and a .941 save percentage. And so, yeah, that's what's going on in the WHL. And then in terms of other news, wanted to touch on one thing here. Saw a tweet from Katie Strang involving, of course, one of the stories has been about the investigation continuing in London in regards to the World Junior Hockey sexual assault allegations. Katie Strang tweeted out today, London police said investigation remains active and ongoing. NHL said that there's nothing new in terms of status update on its own probe. And Hockey Canada's investigation performed by a third party is complete. Rick West had reported that back in December and remains with the independent adjudication panel, which is proceeding in an in-camera process per HC spokesman. So may see some news come out about that in the coming few days. So, but that will be the news for today. We will have a podcast on Thursday. Join us Thursday night live to talk hockey. Then you can follow us all individually on Twitter. Tyler, TNOBLE, Christian Schneidz, SCHNEIDZ, Sean, Beardy Canuck 03, Devin Gordhouse 09. I am KEVOLE, Shifts and Pucks on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Subscribe wherever you get your audio, as well as on the Area 51 Sports Network. Make sure you check the Fireside podcast out, talking all things Flames. Dan and Matt do. That is out as of yesterday. So check that out as well. But thanks you for watching. Thank you for listening. We will talk to you very soon. Bye for now.